Ready?
Teague is one of the most emotionally honest people that I know. He's fun and he's sweet and he keeps us on our toes and keeps us honest all the time. He's very proud of his art. He loves to take things that are in pieces and put them together. Right now, he would very much like to be a bike mechanic. With his ability to put together puzzles and be very mechanical, that would actually probably be a really good fit for him. Teague was born 2 months premature, so he's always kind of had a special piece of my heart just because he's always struggled. But he has always also been extremely strong and tenacious. Teague has an intellectual disability, so he functions around the age of 7 or 8. And that probably won't change for him at 17. He has an anxiety disorder, a sensory processing disorder, ADHD, and a hearing loss. Particularly when he was younger, it was really difficult for him to engage with kids of his age group because he just couldn't mentally keep up with them. I had to go back to work, and so I needed a place for him to go in the summer for camp. My neighbor told me about Between Friends and about Camp Bonaventure specifically. So we applied for Camp Bonaventure, and that was the summer he turned 6, and he's been there ever since. Literally, Teague was the kid, if I dropped him off at school or at activities, he would be grabbing onto my leg saying, "Mommy, please don't leave me." That's how we started at camp. And one of the things that Between Friends and Camp Bonaventure has done for Teague is they have worked on that confidence for him. He's made long-term friendships with these kids. Now when he goes to camp, they run into the field and they're nattering at each other and they're catching up, and because they have friends, like they've got people that they can relate to. Hanging out with this group of people is the most freeing, liberating, hilarious time I have ever had. Because they don't struggle with the same social boundaries that we do, they just say stuff, they do stuff, they're free, they don't care if somebody's watching them. I wonder sometimes if I'm not the person with a disability because I am encumbered by what people think and they just are who they are. Between Friends has introduced us to a group of parents. And so we have a social group now where we can talk through what our future looks like, what Teague's future looks like, what their children's future looks like. We have an awareness of a greater community. Our oldest son started asking questions about how he could volunteer. I mean, he volunteered there every summer until he turned 16. And that's the age that you can legally become a one-on-one aide. So he worked for 2 summers as a support aide. And then he worked as staff for 2 years as well. So for our whole family, it has changed our social circle, it has changed how we approach life. It's really changed our whole lives. We all have things that we struggle with, and we all have places where we think that our lives aren't like everybody else's. But I think it's important for people to know you're not the only one with something that's extraordinary in your life that might change the way you thought your life was going to go 20 years ago. Not all of us know places to give, and not all of us have that personal pull to a particular organization. So the United Way ensures that these organizations that might be a little bit lesser known will receive funding. So it is a great way that you can give once and ensure that your money is going to places where it's going to have an impact. My son has been impacted by the dollars from United Way. He's been impacted by those programs. His life is better because the United Way exists.